But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of Him who has called you out of darkness and into His marvelous light. Here's something I think we all need to be reminded of every now and then. You belong somewhere. I don't mean a house. I don't mean a town. I don't even mean a family. Peter says that those who belong to Messiah are a people for God's own possession. Now notice something. Peter isn't talking about a handful of especially good Christians. He's talking about believers. People who have been called out of darkness and into the light. And I reckon that's important because we spend a lot of our lives trying to figure out where we fit. We want to belong. We want to be accepted. We want somebody to look at us and say, "You're one of us." And sometimes we'll change ourselves to fit whatever group happens to be around us. But Peter says something much better. Your identity doesn't have to come from the crowd around you. It comes from the one who called you. Think about riding a bicycle at night. You can be out on some dark road where you can't see much beyond the little circle of light that your bike torch sets in front of you. And then you come around a corner, and suddenly there are street lights. You can see the road. You can see where you're going. You can see things that were there all along, but were hidden in the darkness. Peter says we've been called out of darkness into His marvelous light. The darkness didn't just make the road difficult to see. It affected the way that we understood the road. And when God calls us into the light, He begins changing the way that we see things. We start seeing ourselves differently. We start seeing other people differently. We start seeing sin differently. And we start seeing what actually matters. And that's part of what it means to belong to God. But Peter doesn't stop there. He says we're a chosen people, a royal priesthood, and a holy nation. Those are some pretty big words, and they're not there so we can walk around feeling superior to everybody else. Peter immediately tells us why we've been given this identity, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of Him who has called you. In other words, we're not chosen just to sit around congratulating ourselves for being chosen. We're called to tell people about the one who called us. That's the purpose. You don't turn on a light so you can stare at the light bulb. You turn it on so you can see. And if you've been brought out of darkness, there's somebody else still walking around in the dark who needs to see that light. Maybe that's where this becomes practical for us as believers today. You don't have to have a pulpit to proclaim God's goodness. You can do it at work. You can do it at the grocery store. You can do it by the way you treat somebody who's difficult. You can do it by refusing to join in when everybody else is tearing somebody apart. You can do it by being honest when dishonesty would be easier. You can do it by forgiving somebody when bitterness would be more comfortable. And you can do it right here on the interwebs, your social media, your YouTube channel that has no videos uploaded, or just join in the comments section to encourage your fellow believers. Sometimes the loudest testimony isn't what we say, it's the way we live. So here's something to think about today. When you walk out the door this morning, remember who you are. You belong to God. You're not just another person wandering around trying to find your place. You've been called out of darkness and into His light. And that means you have a purpose. You don't have to become somebody else to matter. You don't have to impress everybody around you, and you don't have to fit into every crowd. Know who you belong to, and then live like it. Let people see something different in you. Let them see patience when everybody else is angry. Let them see peace when everybody else is panicking. Let them see mercy when everybody else wants revenge. And when the opportunity comes, tell them where that difference comes from. Peter says we've been called out of darkness into his marvelous light. So walk or ride in that light today. And if you're riding down the road this morning, look around every now and then. There's a lot of darkness in this world, but you don't have to add to it. Carry the light with you. Keep pedaling and let people see where that light comes from. Thank you for joining me here this morning, my friends, my family, and anyone else out there who might be riding along and listening on this Thursday morning. I surely do appreciate you spending some time here with us this morning, starting our day off with a little bit of the Word. I hope to see you here again tomorrow morning as we wrap up this work week. Until then, Abba willing, shalom, shalom.